David, you're showing we need one more by my count.
As soon as Manager Matwani's audio connects, I believe you are ready to go, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, just waiting for the quorum.
He's on video now.
Okay. Good evening. Today is August 31st, 2021, and the time is 5:01 p.m. As a quorum of the board is in attendance, I would like to call to order the meeting of the Central Health Board of Managers. The first item of business is public communication. Yesenia, do we have any public communication this evening?
We do not.
I'm sorry, Yesenia. Okay. Since we do not have any public communication this evening, we will move to the regular agenda. Item number 1, discuss and take appropriate action to set the time, date, and location of the public hearing and vote to set the central health tax rate for the 2021 tax year and cancel the public hearing originally scheduled for September 2nd, 2021. Mike Giesen will be presenting, and I am turning it over to him.
Yes, thank you. Members, we'll talk about the location and the logistics about this, but the reason for this request is in light of the need to social distance, but also be in a facility where masks could be required by virtue of a city or county order because they control the facilities. We went out and looked for different options. And so Perla can go into more detail on this, but her team has worked to find a location, but also work through some of the technology issues. Perla?
Managers, we have been in communication with city manager's office and have secured the city council chambers for a September 9th public hearing and board meeting. Once you vote to move forward with this location tonight, then we are quickly going to meet with the city IT staff tomorrow morning to figure out all the technology logistics.
And then members, and along with that, there's actually a 2-step process here. You need to post for one meeting, cancel another, and then the requisite notices will go out that are required by law, but also pushing out through social media and other channels to make sure people know about the change in date, time, and location. That concludes it.
Thank you, Perla. Perla, are we confident that the technology will work?
We're confident that
Okay.
the technology will work, even if we have to take our laptops and use Ring Central. They have Wi-Fi.
Well, we were going to have to take our laptops anyway at our building, so that's no different.
If that's all we have, then we're going to work with it, but we're trying to hook up to their
Okay.
audio visual equipment. Managers who are present will be sitting on the dais. Members of the public, if any show up, will be allowed into to sit in the auditorium.
But I assume, according to what the city council's done, they'll only be allowed a certain number in at a time, if you look at what they've been doing.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so managers, this is where we are. The public hearing was posted for September 2nd because at that time staff had not secured other options. If it were to be September 2nd, it would be in our room where we meet, which is not, a large room with state-of-the-art filtration and the kind of movie theater seating and everything that you see, for instance, in the city council chamber. There's also limited options for people who do come in person because we have some small conference rooms, but you know our building. We would, a quorum of the board would need to be present. So 5 members, including the chair as one of the 5 would need to be present. The other 4 would be virtual. If we have it at city council chambers on the 9th, we would have the public hearing on the 9th, then followed by our board meeting where we, vote on the tax rate and our budget. We may, as you heard, still need to bring our laptops if we use Ring Central. If we use city IT, not so. We would be under the city's policies as far as wearing masks, and we would still need 5 people, including myself there as one of the 5 for a quorum, and then the other 4 would be virtual. Does that sum it up, Perla and Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, I want to, hear from board members, given the whole goal here, of course, is to have a situation where we can, to the best of our ability, maximize public health and safety. And that I know that is a goal that we have at Central Health as a healthcare district. So with that, what are your thoughts, members? Anyone? Manager Jones.
I think Manager Brinson was ahead of me, so I'll let her.
Okay, Manager Brinson.
Yes, this actually is better. It also gives the public a little more time to organize and feel secure in our environment. And it would be nice to be able to use our standard interaction with the public via our website, et cetera. So I understand.
Okay, Manager Jones.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. One, I, like Manager Brinson, concur that to the degree we have it in public, I think it would be great. And City Hall, I think, would be a good location to it. My second issue is, or comment is, with regards to marketing, advertising, and outreach. As we've shared before, it is absolutely imperative that we, one, notify the public that we're doing this and that it has changed. And we have to go through all of the tools that we have of our mechanism to make sure that happens, because I do not want to hear, even though we probably will, that I didn't know about the change. I showed up and no one told me, those processes. So I know how that goes, but it doesn't do us good to be able to defend ourselves by saying, well, we put it on Facebook and we put it in our emails. That's not going to work. So we have to make sure that we can define what that outreach is. The third comment I just wanted to ask is, can you help refine the executive order? We're doing this because the governor's executive order ended as of today. Is that correct?
We're doing this because Attorney General Ken Paxton, it's my understanding that our Attorney General Ken Paxton contacted the governor weeks ago and stated that he thought it would be time to not include in the executive order anymore this exception from the Open Meetings Act. And so the governor is not including anymore this exception from the Open Meetings Act. So starting September 1st, what happens is a quorum of the board, just as before COVID, a quorum of the board, including the president, must be in person. Others can be virtual. David Duncan, do you need to correct that?
No, ma'am, you got it right.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you. That's very helpful. That's interesting, but it's very helpful that he would make this. Thanks very much. Those are my comments.
Mike or Ted, did you want to add anything? We certainly want to make sure that the public is notified in all possible ways.
Yes. We concur, and hence the earlier statements about not just providing the formal legal notice, but going the extra mile to make sure that we push information out about the change and why.
And yes, and why the public health, yes. Manager Valadez.
Madam Chair, I'd like to know if we could also post it, if we could get permission to also post it on the Austin City Council information site. If they have a website, which I know they do. And
they do.
All official notices for the city page, webpage. Since that's going to be where we're talking about having the meeting, correct?
Correct.
Right.
At City Council chambers. Perla, I know you're in communication with the city.
We're meeting with the city tomorrow. I will make that request.
City and county.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to clarify, by statute, Manager Valadez, we're required to actually publish a notice on TCTV, the television channel for
Right.
Travis County. So we will have that corrected by tomorrow
Right.
evening.
No, I understand what we're required to do.
Yeah.
But just because we're required to do it doesn't mean that we have to limit ourselves to that. We can
Yes.
go above and beyond.
And that's what we're saying, Manager Valdez.
I'm just, yes,
Thank
we
you.
understand. Carol is looking into it, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Understood. Other comments, questions? I leave it to the board to what is your, will here. Manager Bell?
If there are no other comments
Oh,
or
I think-
questions,
I
I'd
I
like,
think Manager Brinson was going to make a motion.
oh,
She beat you
perfect.
to it. Manager Jones, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have one quick question. We said 5 have to be there. So the question is, do we decide which 5 or just as long as 5 are there? How do we
Well-
ascertain that?
I will get with Brianna and we will work through that to see which 5 have the
Okay.
ability to be there. How does that sound?
Okay,
Maybe,
all right, then. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Brianna, is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. I know I'll be one of them. Okay. So you got one and we'll work through the others if some people may be out of town or what, or situations, but we will make sure there are 5 there and Brianna and I will work on that. Okay.
Just,
Yes, Manager Valdez.
yes, I thank you, Manager Jones, for asking that question. Is it possible to say that we need to have at least 5 people there, but if more can make it, that's fine?
Well,
Is that not possible?
it's possible, but from a public health standpoint, fewer is better. The fewer that are there, the better. So I would think from a public health standpoint, we want to keep it at 5, right? Because we can have greater distancing.
Well, I understand your reasoning, but I also question whether or not the city council limits themselves to a certain number of people being there.
No, I don't know.
I understand. So in that respect, so that we can show that we are also a public entity, a governmental entity, if more than 5 want to show up, at least they have the ability. I don't think we should limit ourselves.
I will
That's
leave
all.
that. I will leave that up to the board, but we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
Okay. Manager Brinson.
Yes, I would like to move the public hearing previously scheduled for September 2nd, 2021 be canceled, and that the hearing and vote on the proposed tax rate increase be held on Thursday, September 9th, 2021 at 5 p.m. at Austin City Hall, 301 West 2nd Street, Austin, Texas, 78701. A notice for which will be posted on the Central Health website and published in a general circulation newspaper in Travis County.
We have a motion by Manager Brinson. Is there a second? Manager Bell, are you seconding that?
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion, members? All right, seeing no further discussion, I will call the question. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Any abstaining, same sign. All right, thank you, members. At this
Thank you,
time,
members.
I'm ready to accept a motion for adjournment.
I
Manager
move that we
Valdez?
adjourn.
Motion, is there a second? Manager Bell seconds it.
Yes, second.
Favor, aye.
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 Thank you, members, for coming to this special meeting. I wanted to leave this, of course, up to the board, the full board, to make a decision on this, and had to be, of course, voted upon. So thank you. Appreciate it. And
Thank
thank you to the hard
Good
work of
managers.
staff.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.